the biggest problem with Logan versus me is that I'm a completely clean athlete and he's on a shitload of steroids. So for him to fight me, either I have to go on a shitload of steroids and become a super heavyweight because I'm genetically gifted, or he has to pass a drugs test. So if he wants to fight for real and he'll keep pissing in a cup and he'll lay off the steroids, then you're sure I'll smash him up.
Now, I don't know how Andrew knows or think he knows that Logan Paul does steroids, but I've had these same thoughts when I've seen exactly how cut up he is while being so huge on a consistent basis. What do you guys think? You think he's on steroids? But if Andrew was going to fight Logan, what type of fight would he do?
What rule set would you prefer?
It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, obviously, if we were to fight kickboxing or K1, I'd completely destroy him. Mm-hmm. Boxing is good for the fans. I think boxing translates very well to the fans because even MMA, although I think UFC shows are more entertaining, you still need a degree of knowledge to respect jiu-jitsu, whereas every idiot understands a punch in the face, right? So boxing translates very well for the fans. So I'm happy to box the guy. I mean, he's a big guy. He's a strong guy. Like I said, he's on a bunch of juice. If he lays off the juice and he wants to fight clean, then sure, I'll beat his ass. I mean, it's no problem. I'm not past it yet.
What about a street fight? What would happen?
Well, that's a good point because, you know, it's interesting. Street fights are completely different than anything that happens inside of any kind of rule set. Yeah. I think a lot of people have this misunderstanding where they think, oh, yeah, you're a pro fighter, so on the street. I'm like, yeah, okay, the street's great. And obviously you have an advantage on the street. But I've also seen, and I won't say names, I've seen world champion fighters get sparked on the street. You get sucker punched, you get sucker punched.
Yeah.
I've seen dudes get jumped. I've seen guys whose names I can say, which I won't, and everyone would know them, get knocked out clean, cold, ice on the street just because they were in a club and they were arguing with some guy and bang, sucker. Fuck. It's messy. And especially I'm telling you guys now, especially in Europe and England, and they don't give, in England, they don't care. It's different. So violence is very different than fighting. So I like to think that I would never have a fair street fight. Let's put it that way. Because you have to win, right? Because it's life or death at that point.
If it was a street fight, I'd have to put my money on Andrew because Logan only knows how to box, even though he was a wrestler in high school. Now he's been boxing as a YouTuber. But he's not really adept at fighting, let alone kickboxing, let alone at a world championship level like Andrew. But none of that really matters because Logan says he ain't fighting Andrew Tate.
I see my brother kicking ass. I see KSI kicking ass. I'm like, oh, I want to kick some ass again. So I did. I made the call-out video. Full on. Call out Andrew Tate. I know what a viral video looks like. Shit would have gone viral. Except it wasn't quite me. I've just grown up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I've changed, and the way you provoke as a 27-year-old is different than the way you provoke as a 23-year-old. In the video, I was like, yo, you're poor compared to me. Yeah, what else did I say?
I got a Pokemon card worth 3 year Bugattis.
Like 2 year Bugattis. Like, I went in and sent it to the team, and it was mixed, but we ended on don't release the video, right? Whatever, like life will fall into play as is. And
not too long after that,
Andrew Tate got banned from the internet.
From everything.
Andrew Tate banned from this social media platform, and then the domino effect. Now he's
How do we feel about that's where he's gonna
blacklisted.
go if you just give him? That's where he's leading. He's trailing us right into.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Got it.
I'm getting there, brother. I'm holding your hand through this mountain.
I appreciate it.
All right. So you know, I guess in a way, although I was disappointed I couldn't post this video, which I again believe would have gotten a lot of traction, life really worked out because now you're in a situation where, and we're going to dive into Andrew Tate, I don't feel like platforming this guy. I don't feel like giving him the blessing of being my dance partner in the ring, especially after the social media platforms have made it very clear how they feel about this guy, right? And I would even put a little call out here to like fellow creators and even JJ, like, you want to re-platform this guy? Anyone? You want to have him on your shows? You want to give him another opportunity to speak and spread his agenda? Because whether you believe it or not, the shit that Andrew Tate is saying will have a ripple effect, much more dangerous than you can imagine, because his narrative is truly hateful. His rhetoric has extreme negative energy in it, and it will affect impressionable young people in a way that will not show until years from now, and it is dangerous.
The real dangerous rhetoric that Logan is referring to is actually dangerous to Logan himself. Because what Andrew has been saying, especially in this back and forth between him and Logan Paul, has actually turned millions of people, I think, against Logan Paul. Because through Logan's not willingness to want to platform Andrew, and by other things that Andrew Tate brought up in his Patrick Bet David interview.
Logan Paul is absolutely and utterly a tool of the Matrix. He's a bought and sold individual with no soul. He doesn't stand up for anything, and he doesn't mean anything he says. He gets pieces of paper from Susan or whoever else telling him what he's allowed to say on his channel to retain it.
You believe that?
100%. Not only do I believe it, he's proved it himself. He will flip-flop on any issue. He can be bought and sold. The dude's a bitch.
It's pretty clear that Logan is just a prostitute for these social media companies and the media and what the whole leftist media wants to promote anyway. So what's really been dangerous, it's not really dangerous to the youth, it's actually been dangerous to Logan. And the funniest part between this whole back and forth is that while Andrew is not a fan of Logan, he's actually a fan of his brother, Jake.
It's kind of interesting because since I blew up, obviously there's going to be a parallel drawn between my brother and I, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Tate brothers, Logan, and Paul, the Paul brothers. I actually quite like Jake, and I think he trains really hard.
Yeah.
And I think he's dedicated to the sport, and he's seriously actually a boxer. I don't think he's a YouTuber. I think he's a boxer. Mm-hmm. Logan's still a YouTuber. So they're in different parallels. I wish Jake the absolute best for his career. I think he's far better than Logan. If I were to fight either of them, Jake would be much harder to beat. Logan would be easy to beat. Jake, you'd have to train for like a fighter. Someone goes, oh, he's just a YouTuber. I say, no, he's not. He's a young man with a lot of money. He's been training boxing for a long time. The guy can box, right?
Yep.
When the top G respects you as a fighter, that's a hell of a credibility stamp. Even though some people like to laugh and make fun of the opponents who Jake has fought against, he's still done a pretty damn good job against all these opponents, and he seems like he's extremely dedicated when you look at his reported routine and training camp schedule. So, got to give it to him. Let me know in the comments who you think would win between Andrew and Logan in a fight. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe right here. And as always, thanks for watching.